There's a life before the anatomy and there's a life after the intuitive anatomy. And that counts for the practitioners, but also for the
Doing it a
instructors.
few times myself, translating and coordinating and as a TA. So I am Samantha Lohmann from LiveTheta, and this with us today is Rouven Will. So hi, how are you?
Hi, good to see you. I'm great. Thank
Nice
you
to
so
meet
much.
you.
My name is Rouven. I'm from Hamburg and I'm a theta healer. I'm a theta healing instructor. It's also like more and more instructors are coming back also to theta healing, so maybe if they want to assist or revisit the class, it's easy for them. They can totally do it. And I think New York is a great place, because the people are super open-minded. It's a super like cultural, open, versatile. Is that the right word? Like a lot of variety there.
Yeah.
And I think this technique fits perfect. That fits perfect. And if also like if people ask like why would I do the intuitive anatomy, the experience that you said, like, where everything, all your needs were met, like when you had to pay something, it was given. I have the same experience, for the first time, I heard from Theta Healing actually in 2018, and then 2019 I started. And since then, whenever I had the intention to visit a seminar, it just happened. Life made it happen, the creator made it happen. And that's the beauty. And especially to the intuitive anatomy, back then already the people said, there's a life before the anatomy and there's a life after the intuitive anatomy. And that counts for the practitioners, but also for the instructors. Like your life will change. That is like, that's a given, and it's a blessing.
That's a definite true. That's a
Right.
definite true. And I wanted to ask about this. So, first of all, just people there, like, how many times have you taken the intuitive anatomy instructors? Like, as a translator, as a as a
Ooh,
practitioner,
wow. All
like more
together.
or less.
I love this question. Let me roughly calculate. Probably by
Of
now.
course, I asked this to a German that they have to give me the right, correct answer. But
Of
yeah, just
course.
like a roughly,
A rough answer would be at least 8 times.
at least 8 times. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's
That's
so
practitioner and
amazing.
instructor together. Yeah.
I've taken it a few times myself, translating and coordinating and as a TA.
Yeah,
So,
right.
but I
Like
was
this is
thinking,
all
yeah, if you've
together.
taken
Yeah.
it so many times, so you know what it is. Like you have an idea of what it is. So let's say I'm gonna do a tricky question. If you could describe for you like your changes or whatever you got from intuitive anatomy in 3 words, what would it be?
Oh, in 3 words. Okay. So expansion, happiness, and authenticity.
Okay, so if someone were asking you, why should I take the intuitive anatomy? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that this is the boot camp in theta healing, that it's absolutely worth taking it, that they will definitely be another person after that course because you're working through every system, every part of your life, every system of your body gets a full day of addressing, and it will bring change. Like no matter where you are in your life, no matter what you want to achieve, what you want to resolve, it will be changed. And your outlook on life, your perspective on yourself and your life, and your ability to help other people will be different. After the intuitive anatomy, most likely you will continue working on yourself as we always do, but being in service will be amplified, and then a different energy comes in motion in your life. Like wherever you feel stuck, it will start moving. And I mean, one of the major things Vienna says, like this class builds friendships, it
Yeah.
builds friendships for life. So
Mhm.
yeah,
It does. And I think the commitment, the energy, the discipline, and the work on yourself and working on others, it just
yeah.
changes the
I think
energy. Like,
sorry,
yeah.
one thing, sorry to interrupt. Like, it's normal also that things come up before a class, regardless if you do intuitive anatomy or intuitive child in me. For some, this can be very triggering, you know, and it's important to acknowledge, like, oh my God, like maybe before the seminar starts, like your life is going crazy or stands upside down or something. Just acknowledge that it's kind of part of the pre-process, and after the seminar, it will be cleared.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. Like, you can have an amazing experience as long as you work on yourself. But if you don't, then it could create a little bit of chaos because, of course, the energy has been moving. So if you're saying the universe, I want to move, I want to move, I want to move, and then it starts moving, and you want to stand still, that's not gonna work. So,
You know,
but but the energy is definitely going to move, and if you move with the
yes.
energy, it's like amazing. Like, it gives you that opportunity, like you say. For me, it's not like your life will be chaos before, but it's more like, yeah, definitely changes are going to start. Things that you need to clear need to come to the surface, and the class gives you that opportunity to every day being able to clear it, every day being able to focus on you personally, what you need to work on.
Yeah.
So even though the seminar has a structure and the seminar goes through every system in the body, it always gives you the freedom to focus on what you need in your life. So it's
Mhm.
not like, okay, let's everybody work about this situation, and you say, I have no problem in that situation. Why would I work on that?
Yeah,
So it's not like that.
very
It's
good.
always focused on what you need, and it's always focused on helping you in your
Yeah.
way, and for you to be part of helping someone else in their journey, in their healing path as well. So I
Yeah.
think I like that. That theta healing is bringing us into service. Like, the more we put ourselves in the energy of service, of helping other people, the easier it is to get the information, and the easier it is to put it into our own life. So I really
Mhm.
like that part of the technique, like to
Absolutely.
focus on service.
Yeah, and you said something very cool, like it's not your life necessarily needs to be chaotic. No, I don't want to impose that. It doesn't have to be like that. But what is stirring up possibly are programs that have been holding you anyways. It's the limiting beliefs that get stirred up, and you have the chance to recognize it and change the energy you are creating your reality with. Either way, you know, so it gives you a lot of choice and on how to create, you know, and the kind of autopilot that is running gets new input of higher thought forms, of lighter thought forms, you know. So you start automatically creating with a virtuous thought form, plus you become more aware of what you're creating. And this is what I love about this technique and also about Vienna's teachings, because it comes with a lot of humor also for yourself. Like sometimes don't take life too serious. You know, when sometimes when stuff happens, you see like, oh my God, like what am I creating? You know, and then you can connect or you can, you know, book a session, do an exchange, and things can be shifted. And this is so powerful. Like what definitely changed in my life from what I know from earlier in my life, I always had a strong belief, I would say, that things can be changed, but the moments of helplessness, for example, or powerlessness, all of these things, they really changed because you know, okay, something is creating here that doesn't feel right. So I can go in, check it out, and I can shift it. And I have the choice on how I want to address it, how do I want to answer to it, how do I want to, like, you know, act, basically, acting consciously. And that is super powerful. That speeds really your process of, you know, personal development. It's elevated. And also like what you mentioned, you know, while you are progressing yourself, you have support from others, and at the same time in the next moment you are supporting someone else, because we're always doing pair work, you know, it goes both directions, and that is the beauty. So you're healing yourself, and at the same time you're training to be a healer. I mean, this is win-win situation, right?
Yeah, I think so too. It's like a win-win-win situation. And so the other class that we are having, the other certification that we have in New York in this coming remote location, it's going to be the intuitive child in me, which creates a little bit of confusion because it has a bit. it has gone through a process of name changing for a while.
Yeah.
So you might see it in the website as developing your intuition, the inner child in me, a rainbow children. It's all the same class, and it is an amazing class. For me, this class, honestly, the first time I taught it for children, I completely fell in love with those children. They were so amazing. They were so loving. I had different age groups, and it was really interesting to see how they work together. So we had like two classes in one for the different ages. And it was really interesting to see how the older children were already going through certain situations in life, and this gave them the tools to process and to move forward. And the younger children, they were just enjoying, having fun, wanting to play, but very curious about the information that we were giving. And because it was given in a playful way, it will always reach home. And their parents were amazed. Their parents would come and ask me questions, and they say, "Okay, so she's talking about this, she's talking about that. What do you mean? What do they mean? What? How can I support them?" And it's just such a magical class. But the instructor class itself, for me, it's one of the classes that really focuses on helping you connect with joy to the intuitive side of things. So it opens up the intuitive abilities in a fun, practical way. I think it gives you a lot of practice. And as I have seen, a lot of people come out of this class with their intuitive abilities in a better energy, and they are more open and they develop so fast. Uh, so I think it's like an amazing class to certify at, because even if you're not, I don't teach it that often, but I had the opportunity to teach children, to teach young adults, to teach adults as well. And every time it's been so much fun, and it's an amazing class. But even if I don't teach it that often, every time I'm in an instructor class, I get energy from it, and I get practice, and I get insight, and it's such an intuitive class. I actually absolutely love it. But I wanted to, it took me so long to get to your question, but I wanted to ask you again, like for you, if you could say in one phrase or in a few words, what is that class for you?
Rainbow children, I mean, intuitive child in me, former
You
rainbow
see?
children, former building intuition. Okay, yeah, this is ingrained a little bit, but yeah. So, what is that class for me? I love it. It's absolutely amazing, and I have also taught it with children already. We had also a very variety of ages, like from just turned 4 years to, a little bit older, just about being a teenager to adults. So everything, like all ages were covered, so to say. And I think this class is super, super important because I mean, I have a daughter myself and I have a wonderful niece also, and they are both like 8 years old. And of course, you see them grow up and you see how open they are, what they're actually picking up, like um, that's incredible. And it's important, especially for adults, but also for parents to, and many theta healers are parents also, right? It's like it's a technique also for families and for parents, and it can help you or support you, I believe, also in parenting, and that maybe really seeing your child and helping your child along the way in a society that gets more and more intuitive, that gets more and more psychic. We live in different times than 30 years ago, right? Or I mean, even like if I look back like 10 years ago, like something has really shifted. All of that became a lot more, let's say, mainstream, but not only mainstream in terms of being popular, but also in terms of being acknowledged and being recognized that this is there. The other day, I heard that the Stanford University has made a study that kind of like proved that we all are born psychically and intuitive. I mean, how cool is that? These are the times we're living in, and it's time to acknowledge that. And if we can have the fundament with this course to, in one way, heal our own kind of like inner child aspect, and as you say, go back to the playfulness, but also really bringing it to the next generation, bringing it into schools, or even if it's just into your home, like to be playful with your intuition, to have discernment when you pick up something from someone else that isn't yours. This can make a big, big difference if our children learn that. And this is how a new society also comes to grow over time, right? So it's a powerful class.
It is such a powerful class, and thank you for sharing that with us.